How's it going, fellas and fellarets? So yeah, as the title suggests, we're just kinda gonna be messing around in Spyro 3. What I think I will be primarily doing is just like maybe messing around with the 100 egg route. I'll be doing it with save states to rehearse some of the movement because that's been kind of something I've been doing anyway. So I figured if you love something, then why not do it in front of anyone and everyone? That's how the famous saying goes. So under those circumstances, I'm gonna be linking the stream to some fellas and fuckerettes. And then we're gonna get right into the fuckery. It hasn't been too long into the stream, and I've already said the F word. Hold on, I gotta craft this message perfectly. Perfectly. Perfecto! That ought to do it. Okay, it's not rendering the... That ought to do it. Okay, I'm just gonna load my save state. Perfect. Sorry to anyone with severe epilepsy whom I just killed doing that. I think we're gonna select game slot 3. Okay. I'm not gonna concern myself with completing the 100 egg route. Just kinda doing it, and if anything in particular is something I wanna spend hours doing, then I'll do that for hours. I've seemingly gotten pretty consistent at that glide. Now that jump is a little ballsy. Because you can overshoot it, which then obviously weighs like a frame or two. I'm kind of doing this with the mindset of if I ever participate in some kinds of races and whatnot, then I can dominate because I've been just spending all of my free time messing around. I was humping around and jumping around. Would that make it? That would not make it. If this was a race, then I would go for the backup here. Well, honestly, either one of those Rhinox works as the backup one. This is a high enough jump to go over the mountain, so I will. You're not gonna tell me what to do, goddammit, you scoundrel, you scallywag. It's been 3 minutes and I'm already about to threaten to punch you in the puncher, you goddamn. I didn't get the horizontal proxy. I don't know if those proxies are like actually any significant time saves, I just like doing them. For science. What I do know is that the horizontal speed boost actually does save. Not like life-changing time, but decent time. Okay, well now is this where a race, I would just run to the end. I guess it's good to get some reps in practicing the backup too. Granted, the final backup is to just take the normal route up there. Which... Really, insult to injury, I'm gonna get the highest possible jump, basically. I've been actually wanting to get back to streaming for a hot minute. Okay, that guy's gonna go too far away from me to concern myself with jumping off of him. You always want to take the right route, so that one little Rhinoc runs to the correct position where you can then jump off of him to the end. I'm really sucking balls for the purposes of... I don't know, throwing for content. Really? Again, the biggest possible jump? Like, insult to injury, it proves that I can do it, I'm just refusing to. Yeah, generally when you get the second Rhinoc, it seems like that guy is just gonna run out of your way. I really don't know how those cycles work. I don't think they're RNG dependent. I think they're strictly tied to where you are in the level. Like when you aggro them, they just start running and then they stay on their cycle. I think this guy crashes into that wall if you just let him finish his route. And that guy just stays there. Okay, I'm gonna concern myself with trying to nail the first one. I'm not gonna go for the backup, at least for a couple reps. There we go, that's gonna make it with the hover. Oh, it could have even made it without the hover. But I'm not quite brave enough. So now, let's try to get the horizontal. Nope. I don't know, it's just so satisfying when you actually pull that off. I don't know, if I was like an actual world record contender, which I am nowhere in the ballpark of, but like, hypothetically if I was, chances are I wouldn't be going for that. But this is low stakes, plus I'm playing on Duck Station, so even if I had the skill, I wouldn't have the means to get the world record. At least right now. That's not to say that acquiring the means would magically give me the skill. But that's kind of why I'm not really trying to do, at least right now, I'm not really concerning myself with doing runs. It's really not something I'm feeling a burning passion for the idea of doing. Okay. So that would be just run to the end. I've once completed.
Play Gangnam Style, please. Please, Mr. Streamerman. Come to Brazil.
Yeah, Bob, you just got me playing the same level repeatedly. This is your evening's entertainment, you goddamn scoundrel, you. Can I get the horizontal? Hey, I got a little one. That's not the maximum speed boost you can get. Also, I'm not sure if actually doing a 180 there is in any way beneficial. Hey, I got the perfect stop on that egg. It's always a good omen. Okay. Well, fuck you too. I'm actually not gonna stand for this little fellaret talking to me as if she's people.
Please, Mr. Streamerman.
Hold on, my Discord is not on streamer mode, I'm pretty sure. So if somebody starts spamming me gay porn, it's just gonna play the ding sound 10,000 times. Hey, yes, Blank. Did not know you streamed. That is pretty cool. That was also a pretty good Arnie impersonation, by the way. I have no idea who Arnie is, but I thank you. Good to have you here, Evan. I've seen you around in Noel's chat. You're the one with $10 billion in your bank. Just lying around. Oh, you know, it's just my... Don't really know what to do with it. Okay, well. These Rhinox are not cooperating. These goddamn scoundrels, they... Can I make it over? I can. I don't know how long I'm gonna spend in Sunny Villa. And I don't know why my cursor is on screen.
Have you tried turning cheats?
Oh, that explains. Gee, I was wondering why things weren't going my way. I just didn't level the playing field enough. I'll get my consistency back eventually. These particular Rhinoc processes in general have kinda always been a learning curve for me whenever I warm up. So I have no means of getting the horizontal speed boost now, and that guy's gonna run off the track. Hey, you know what? He's tempting me. Okay. I'm just gonna start over. Because that's what this stream is about. Dumbass playing the same level 10 billion times for 50 hours. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry to hear that. Spyro 3 is my favorite of the three because of it being my literal first video game ever. Same, actually. I was 6 years old and it was New Year's Eve. And my father, to soothe my autistic ass being afraid of the rockets, was like, hey, you wanna play the dragon game? Now, I thought dragon game meant doing heroin, so I said yes. But then he just put on Spyro 3 and I didn't actually do anything, I just kind of walked around. And then when Dad tried to take the controller away, I was like, So I have a ton of nostalgia for it as such. Enjoy seeing streams of it in particular. I definitely remember when there was a period when I couldn't play it, so just seeing Spyro 3 in any context whatsoever gave me the biggest nostalgia boost ever. And now that I do have unlimited access to it, it's like... I definitely started growing out of it for a period, but then when I discovered basically trying to up my skill cap, primarily in the form of doing these proxies and trying to do the speedrun movement, that's when I got a brand new spark for it. Pun fully intended. I actually calculated that if you do those two proxies in sequence perfectly, you save upwards of a full second. It's just so unlikely that it's generally not worth it if you're actually going for a world record. Unless you're like Composer, where you can just look at a trick and do it. Well, not even a trick, it's just that there are just a lot of those speedrunners that dedicate all their life to just optimizing every little thing. The Rhinox and Cat Wizards are some of my favorite enemy death sounds there. Do you happen to have one? Favorite death sound? I definitely like them all. I like how creative they are. My favorite enemy death sound. I don't think I have one that's elevated above the rest particularly. But I like the seashell Rhinox, the meow. Like, especially as a kid, as an autistic little baby. That just tickled some kind of moron bone in me. I almost got that, but it wasn't just enough height. Can I get the backup? Not. No, I cannot. That was actually a pretty nice one. Kinda halfway through the height access. At one point I had amazing consistency on this horizontal little speed boost thing. Okay, that was pretty good. Then you get Vanessa. Eventually I'm gonna learn this. I also like the boar. The squeal it does when you kill it.
It fills me with joy.
Okay, that was... I actually timed my flame and jump perfectly. I just messed up the one frame glide, which is kind of an annoying predicament to be in. Okay. I just bulldozed that fella. And I bonked my head. Yes, that is a good one. Sorry, that's for Rhinox especially like that. Ray of the fireball gunner. Oh, that one. Yeah, I cannot even imitate that because my vocal cords don't permit me going that high. At least right now. Fireball gunner ninjas. And for Norks, I adore the of the electric gunners in... I presume in Beastmakers. Hey, what do you know? I got it. And then you go down here. Terrace Village. Yeah. Spyro 1 is probably my biggest blind spot in terms of the trilogy. As of recent, I've begun playing a lot more of it. Getting kind of fed up of Sunny Villa, so I think I'm gonna move on. So if this were a 100x speedrun, what you would do next is get the swim in there. Okay, I was a little too forward. Can I do the backup? No.
No, I cannot.
I'm trying to remember, like, because we had Spyro 1 when I was a kid, but I never really got into it back then. Because Spyro 3 just felt like the upgraded version to me in every way. And we never had Spyro 2 back then. I played that for the first time when I was 14. And it definitely made a mark on me at that point already. But Spyro 1 was definitely a slow burn. I had to go through a little process of falling in love with it. I feel like if I would have been just a little bit more to the right, I would have actually gotten that. Now let's really take the time to properly align myself, like, no room for error. Okay, come on now. This game is really tickling my nose with a ballistic missile. Okay, are you gonna come up with an excuse? You are. What do you know? Okay. I think my brain is just... It's all the microplastics they put in my 5G milkshake. At Slopdonald's. I've made that before, that jump back up. And in theory it could be a faster way to get back up here to try that again, but it seems to be rather tight. Because the collision of that waterfall is way bigger than it outwardly looks. A lot of these attempts have felt so right, but hey, I got it. But they just haven't, apparently haven't been that whatsoever. Okay, we're gonna play a little game of tug of war with Spyro's head. Please get in position. And funnily enough, when I get that rotation, I'm not in the correct spot at all, so I did that for nothing. You know what? This angle can actually work. But it didn't. And that's the important part. No. I would like to go just a bit to the left, not all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico. There we go. See, that time I knew for a fact there was no room for error, or no room for an excuse on the game's part. So then you get Ami. Then you go up here. And I'm kinda slow at this, you go down here. And then you curve up a little bit. And then you just get the X in Sheila as fast as you possibly can. AKA about 2 miles per hour. Also share with the Armored Banana Boys in Metalhead. See, I'm thinking back because I beat Spyro, or I played Spyro 1 as a very little kid. But I beat it as for the first time, like probably when I was 18 now that I think about it. Whereas Spyro 3 and 2 I beat at 14 for the first time. So you break that rock, but you don't actually concern yourself with getting the egg just yet. Okay, you little... You asshole. Yeah, I called you that. Now come here, you scoundrel, you warrior, you know. And then you go back here for this fella. It's more economical.
Hey Sheila, let's play a little joke. On Poopface McGee.
I mean, if you insist, little. I could have actually done a double jump there, but I like to give 110%. I got a little good luck kick on that fucker. He deserved it. Because I didn't like his schmuck. We're not gonna watch Bianca assault two innocent bystanders. We are gonna take a sip of tar, however. Why did Billy butt him off the cliff anyway? Because Billy's an asshole. Goddamn scoundrel he. Billy doesn't know respect, and that's why I kicked him. I think that was actually Bobby who gives you the end of the level egg. Screw it, it's collective punishment. They all deserve to get kicked. Unfortunate. Jump. Jump. Okay, well, I didn't even glide that time. I actually don't know what the correct position is. I just kind of wing it. Pun fully intended. And if you're not laughing, I will get hurt. Let's try the one where I jump directly on the seam. No. Okay, now let's try the one when I jump 3 to 5 business days before reaching the seam. Spyro, do you need to get your wings clipped? Because it wouldn't be the first nor last time I've used surgical operations as punishments. Then we're gonna do sun seeds. It's actually faster to flame them rather than press the button. Made you learn. I remember when I was younger thinking that winged Rhinox attack actually hurt Spyro. I was actually very confused to find out that hitting the birds in the Molten Crater Sergeant Bird minigame doesn't actually damage him. Like, I learned that very late in life. And that's like basic life 101. You should know that since you come out the womb. That's specific. Even if you don't play Spyro 3, you should just kind of be able to tap into that knowledge. That the birds in the Sergeant Bird Molten Crater mission don't actually damage him. And also that they respawn. That I didn't know, even as a youngin. That I didn't like that bird's shtick, so I had to punish him. No, it will be 10,000 years of embarrassment if I mess this up. Do you want this, Doodad? Hake. Repeat after me. Hake. Fudge, I failed all variations of the fast skill. Well, that was a relatively fast skill. I just got DM'd up the wazoo. It was just general. There's a second part to his name, but my lack of pigment is kind of providing a problem in that department. And then we just go up here, well, rather down. And by up, I mean, let's just say down. Then we get Stephanie. And then we leave. Okay, that was relatively... No, you don't actually do that. What you do actually is this. See, I'm not used to collecting the eggs, because I usually do any percent route for fun. Well, for the longest time I did 117s. But this has kind of been my new means of killing brain cells. I misinterpreted that line when I was a kid. I thought she said egg fell out of the butterfly and thinking she was referring to the wings of the superfly, but... Why was I so weird as a kid? I don't think that's weird. I didn't even know English as a kid, so... Never really made sense of these games. I'm gonna try my little experimental route. Okay, I didn't curve enough. Hold on, is the internet connection fighting me right now? Is the stream dropping 10 billion frames? Apparently it is dropping some frames. Well, there ain't nothing I can do about that sheewish. Okay, now it's good. That actually saves time. If you just use that right. I didn't mean to hover. I've messed up. The death abuse. This is the second hardest level in terms of the 100 egg route. Seashell Shore being even harder, I would say. Because you have to do Bluto, the rear knock. This might actually be a little too high a jump to be useful. There we go. That's what you want to happen.
Perfecto. Now come here, little boy.
I messed up. This is like my regular stream style up to 11,000. Like dumbass keeps trying same trick repeatedly. The whole time. Like that's the whole stream is dumbass trying tricks repeatedly. It's not just a little feature, a little sideshow. That might be the best variation of that trick. Getting over that tree barely. There we go. Then we run at this little fella. Why is that so hard? Let's just try that a couple times. That regular variation. There we go. That's what you want to happen. Just once more. Okay. It's just a matter of getting my consistency back. He didn't jump. He didn't jump.
Goddamn scoundrel not following orders.
Once again, this is a little too high a jump.
Oh, my steak is too buttery and lobster too juicy.
Oh, okay.
Does your favorite streamer jump off in that much style?
This variation is so cursed. How you kind of curve yourself a little bit to that right. Because usually board proxy follows a very precise setup. To make it consistent. Whereas obviously a task can be set up to proxy off of any one of those bars. For any amount of height. Okay. Also in this level when Zoe advises Spyro on keeping sparks at full health, I thought you said slug below me instead of slug below me. The bull with prime knocks also have a crane sound. That was how I heard it as a kid. I do actually recall also liking the sound. Speaking of whips, you can do that. I found that myself, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has found that. Unfortunate. I actually haven't practiced the fast kills of the thieves. I know that there's a slightly slower variation of scaring him the other way and then killing him off the ledge. But I don't think the world record actually uses that. So there might be some kind of a faster variant. Me forcing to start from the beginning is forcing me to build up my consistency here. So if you're optimal, you can kill him right there. Whereas I usually take up to this turn to kill him. Hey! I'm from Delaware. That was a relatively fast kill, actually. Well, I'm like all the way down in my camroid. No, I'm not good at doing this fast, so I'm gonna do it slow. And I still fail. Okay, let's turn the camera too. Hello, Spyro. Okay, that was a little sluggish of me. You don't actually concern yourself with reheading those little fellas here. I just want the K-Big and nothing else. Now, did I actually miss anything? I gotta make sure. Yeah, Molten Crater end of level egg is egg number 21. So then you come out of Molten Crater and you get the final egg of Sunrise Spring.
Bruce.
Yay! You cannot actually skip that animation, so I don't know why I pressed start there. Now this I would consider the hardest level of Sunrise Spring in terms of doing this route. Particularly because I go about it in such a difficult way. And I get it first try. So all that hyping up for nothing. I don't know if you can actually avoid him doing that little downward turn.
Thor.
I almost mined my head. It's a little trend, a TikTok challenge. Blow up by mine all over your face. I think I was more so, like, when it comes to mishearing things, I was more prone to mishearing lyrics. And it wasn't even necessarily that I was mishearing them, it was just that I couldn't understand what they were saying, so I just kind of mumbled what I thought. Not even mumbled, I just made up words that kind of sounded like what they said in the song. And then just sang those confidently. So it was complete gibberish at the end of the day. Stay away from the sharp end. You get that. You get that. And you get that. Okay, I'm sparkless now, so I can no longer afford to run into him. And that fucker's dead. World Star. That was actually a pretty darn fast kill. I'm gonna do the extra ballsy movement here. And it didn't pan out. I never knew what KP stood for as a kid. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Sorceress, I do not care about your kangaroo. Oh, hi, Spyro. You can actually play this mission as Spyro, kind of like the Fireworks Factory Agent 9 one if you do the frame perfect pause in that screen. You don't actually do that mission, that's the only egg we discriminate against here. Ooh, that was a very close one on that particular corner cut. That one's not really worth it anymore. Okay, well that would have been fast had I hit the trigger. Honestly, not a bad seashell shore at all. I'm not timing myself because I'm using save states in between loading zones, but
That would have been like beating the task.
let's go bowling. So now I can't actually afford to use damage boost whatsoever in boss. Okay.
Listen carefully, you
Just a little announcement or another on another server.
At blank.care.
I'm gonna do my little bonk strat on boss, even though it's not actually actually a little slower than the optimal one. But it's because I don't know the optimal one. Oh, that wasn't the bonk strat, but it got him where he's supposed to be, so who's laughing now? Not me, because there's nothing funny happening right now.
Seriously, what's there to laugh here?
Now, get into the hot tub, you scoundrel, you goddamn fiend. This is actually how you're supposed to fight him. This is fully dev intended. That's actually just fully intended, the game testers were like, that was immediately what they went for. Is my cursor on screen? It is not. Now it is. There is no way of skipping pretty much any of the Bianca encounters. You can theoretically skip the one in Sunrise Spring, but even that is, as far as we know right now, TAS only. Unfortunate. I'm just gonna restart my save state whenever that happens. I'm gonna try to execute this entire string of movement in one go, so I'm not gonna save state in between. Because this is actually pretty elaborate, what you gotta do while swimming in there. Oh, that can happen. What do you know? Oh yeah, I'm missing a crucial part of this. You actually gotta get this egg first.
Dave.
I'm so used to any percent that I didn't even remember. Okay, I'm gonna check what the message I got was. Nothing importante.
Dave. Dave.
Oh, what do you know? I got that really fast and then I fumbled it.
He's a fool, huh?
Fudgicles. I have no consistent method for this, I just kinda swim it every time. That's what I wanted. So now you go roughly I don't actually remember my exact routing here. You go. I missed it. What am I? What am I, mentally disabled? I'm definitely gonna do this again because this is the furthest thing away from optimal. I'm just gonna finish this string of movements, even if it is the most special needs variation of this as you've ever even conceived. See, talking to Zoe was what I was trying to avoid there, but... Seems like you're not listening to me, game. Thank you, game. Then you shoot that one. And then you shoot that one. Not that one. This one. You get mad. I'm just gonna see if I'm gonna fumble this for insult to injury. Before I redo that entire thing. Okay, at least I got in. So you get Dave. You swim up. You get over here. Fudge. Okay. I've kinda had it with my swims. I'm gonna go for a little walk through the bridge now. See, I have the muscle memory of what I'm supposed to do here. But the execution is seemingly very off. I guess I just don't understand the functionality of this. Spyro, I would really prefer if you stopped. I would really prefer if you were quiet right now. If that happens a third time, I'm actually loading state because I'm so petty. I will not tolerate that behavior, young man. Gotta have a little talk with your parents about the proxies you failed. That felt like it was very much so on the verge of working. But then it didn't. I've gotten the position pretty fast on some previous occasions. Hey, at least I'm still under the bridge. So I'm assuming the water level matters, I just don't know in which specific context. Where am I? I would like to see a little bit. See, that was better. Just gonna take a little couple safety shots at that thing. Now what the world record actually does, it goes through the mountain here. Gets this one, gets that one. It doesn't go this close to it, but it gets that one. You know what? That was acceptable. Even if I fumbled a bird entry now, I don't care.
I am satisfied with the current arrangement.
I am gonna look before I leave, though. Okay. And now Void. I don't really feel like learning to do bird as optimally as humanly possible, so I'm just gonna wing it.
That's a funny joke because I've said it 10 billion times. Now go in that goddamn door.
Okay, well, you, sir and or ma'am, are really stubborn. Hey, I got him. No, I think the first one hit him already, so the second safety shot was... It made me look less cool. I actually remember if you need to kill that guy, but screw it, I'm out for blood. Just felt like killing. I want a little bit of safety fodder if possible.
Please, sir, spare me. A little butterfly for Emil.
Did I fumble something? What did I fumble? I guess I just should have waited for that fucker. Okay. Note to self, that can happen. Well, what do you know? It's thundering. Everyone within a 5-mile radius is going to explode. That's how weather works. I'm gonna go turn on my ceiling lamp, because you should have more electrical devices on when it's thundering in your area. That's like the rule. Now, isn't this beautiful?
So bright and shit.
I don't actually know what the optimal way of getting the second gator here is. Spyro, please. You're embarrassing us both.
Spyro, you're tearing this family apart.
What is going on in this Discord phenomenon? Okay, let's actually get the frame 1 save state. Okay, well, if this happened in a marathon setting, what you would want to do here is get up here and go for the second fella. And the second fella also let me down.
Now I'm angry.
I fumbled the 1-frame glide. This time I didn't.
Yeah, fuck that sign in particular.
See, that time I didn't get the bug. Actually, this island one is what we're going for here.
That gator didn't need to die.
I fumbled the proxy. See, what you wanna do is get on top of that tree.
Oh, you goddamn scoundrel, you.
Oh, it's like pouring with rain and shit. It's like water outside. I wonder if you can hear that on the microphone.
Microphone.
Oh, you goddamn scoundrel, you scallywag. Taking damage from anything and everything that moves. Ooh, their position's kinda badly. Yeah. It's kinda... That's kinda quaint. That's not what you want. Who knows, I might learn something when I keep jumping at the dumbass gator. Oh, okay. Okay. I shouldn't rely on landing on the rim of that if I'm so high up that I'm gonna be hugging the little rotund part. I mean, I guess that cut a corner, but... Okay, well, if you get here, you might as well just get this egg. Okay, I should have gone for that gator there. Okay, that wasn't even high enough to make it up the tree. That pole kind of inflicted suffering upon my person there. Okay. That particular angle is necessarily not the best possible idea for a man to have. See, that works. My internet connection doesn't actually seem to be affected by the pouring rain, which is good. See, that's what you want, is for the internet connection to not be affected. Okay, my windows are just soaked. The operating system, I mean. Okay, but to jump this, I just go all the way to the end. Kill this little fucker. I'm getting the bug. See, I told you. I manifested that. What if I actually go for this first? Is it significantly slower, is my question. I think it is, because the route to that egg over there is way faster. I love that the gators reuse the E sounds of the devilish cupids for Smackdoor. There's actually a surprising amount of reuses. Like the Crystal Island skybox is very clearly the exact same as the Crystal Flight one. And I believe Sorceress's Lair uses Dr. Shemp. So I've gotten 3 out of 5 eggs. Okay, yeah, you don't get any eggs, you just go straight to Bamboo Terrace. So here you don't actually go for cutscene skip. Also the Carrot Top's bung being reused for the mosquitoes. See, I'm not even paying attention to the reused sound effects, so I'm getting some insight here. See, I just know the mechanical side. Well, I know aspects of the mechanical side. Actually, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Sorry if I'm distracting. No, I'm not even running here. Like, I'm just basically practice. This is glorified practice. Like, I'm just kind of doing this just for fun. And again, like, I wouldn't even be looking at chat if I had a problem with it. But to, like, have an open chat, look at the chat, and then be like, "Hey dude, you're distracting me!" That would honestly be based as hell. Maybe I should start doing that. I think a faster route would have actually been to go above the level. Okay, I don't think anything here requires any significant practice over anything else. Get medicine. Then you exit the level. So now we do the regular any percent movement, except I don't get the power up. But yeah, you're not distracting me at all, because I'm not actually even going for glory. And even if I was, I mean, like if I was in the middle of almost a PB run, chances are I just stop looking at chat. I mean, that's basically how I was when I played Geometry Dash. So I believe you only get 2 eggs here. And this is actually hard. So I might actually be here for a while. I might even retry it after I nail it. I mean, the proxy alone is pretty difficult for me. Oh, that would have actually nailed that. I just known to turn to the left there. I need to learn to somehow account for that sheep properly. That would be unfortunate if I was going for Chloro. That is unfortunate. You do not want an extra life in this category. Do you enjoy the crunch? I didn't commit to that properly. I like doing that over what is done in the world record. I don't know if it's slower or not. But I have a tendency to get teleported to the guy when I do the world record movement. I actually saw that lightning flash. I'm waiting around for the thunder. I'm not hearing any, so it's probably very far away. Yeah, I saw that too, the prototype sound. This game was put together with modeling glue and cornstarch, so it's bound to have a whole lot of chunk in it. I honestly don't know what happened with that sound. I shouldn't be getting fodder. Because you got a game over in Fireworks Factory for a little speed boost. So if I run up this and then I turn here. I've made this glide before, so I know for a fact it's possible. I just think I'm going about it the wrong way. Also, the voices of the villager, interesting to say the least. That was apparently a censorship thing. Like, Insomniac was told to tone them down because they wanted to make hippies. But then they were like, yeah, this is too far. Like, they sound way too much like stoners. So then they settled for this version. That I saw. 5 seconds, so still not that close. It is getting louder though, so if it's like overhead, I might actually gotta turn off the stream for a couple minutes and split this in 2 halves. Which is annoying for the VODs, but better than my computer getting fried, I suppose. Yeah, I got way more consistent at that when I learned to flicker my inputs instead of pressing them at the same time like a dumbass. Says the guy who plunges headfirst into a tower. I saw the lightning, but I'm not even hearing the sound. That might have been it. It seems like it might actually be moving away. Which is good for the stream. I don't have to cut it off because of weather. God damn it, why do I always have to have such bad luck with the weather? I bet nobody's ever suffered more because of Mother Nature than me right now. That seemed farther away than the last one, definitely. Come on, please make it, fella. Hey, what do you know? Hey, I think you did that on purpose. I should have actually glided from the side there. Okay, I fucked up the... Those jackhammer Rhinox death grunts are always sound like Python to me as a kid. Now look at this. See, that's why we did that. But yeah, the glide I did might actually just not be viable because it's so inconsistent. That might actually be an overhead. Hold on, I'm just gonna go check real quick. I'll be gone for like 7 hours. Hold tight. Okay, we're just gonna go down with the stream if need be.
I don't care. I'm a man.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
To me that oops feels like an acknowledgement of the sound effect being loud. Almost like the game is self-aware. Oops, forgot to turn that down. The lightning keeps catching my attention.
That's what it's like to have AP in HD.
You know, I'm getting really fast at killing these thieves, even if I don't have a plan going in. I can just corner cut them. Okay, now the YouTube is complaining about my mic being muted before. Even though right now it is on.
Isn't it?
Okay. That wasn't really optimal. Let's do this. That wasn't really optimal. Let's look here. I do not care, Mr. Canadian man. Do not talk to me. Nope. You look to the right, you jump, you 180. That's not a 180. That's a 90 degree at best. That was a 180, but I fumbled it. And now the bird's not here. No, I got the bonk one. How is the stream's current audio bitrate? How is the stream? See, I have audio, you scoundrel, you goddamn Google services. If they work, that's not a feature, that's a bug. The functioning is the bug. Okay. Let's move the cursor away. So nobody gets overstimulated on my watch. I feel like the range has got harder. Oh, by the way. Now the bitrate warning disappeared. See, that's what I like to see. You goddamn scoundrel, you. No, Spyro, I want you to do a 180. When I was going for this for the first time, it took me a full hour to get it. Just once. And while I've gotten more consistent at it, I sure don't look like it. Okay, now let's take a full 10,000 frames to make sure I turn around. I'm just gonna have to accept that I'm not gonna play at absolute top form right now. Because that's what I've kinda shown in some departments. Be forgiving to myself. Not yell over every little thing that goes against my will. You can use this. I haven't actually practiced this string. So yeah, I'm kinda... Hold on, so... Yeah, okay, stand next to him and then do that string. So I fire upwards. I actually had to wait for him there. That's how fast I did that movement. Character development. That was beautiful execution.
Yeah. I donated Bobby to Scientology. Now he lives in eternal servitude to them.
Oh, by the way, what's your address? I have some friends who want to visit you. Oh, that was about the most moronic way of doing that.
If I do say so myself.
Could you come here, Mr. Boyd? Okay, you just go straight to thieves then. I was actually trying to find a way to make bird proxy faster here, but I had so far no luck. Like, every single way I found, even theoretically, has been very precise in terms of the proxies it would require. Okay, since I'm going for this for the first time. Why is he not flaming upwards like I want him to? I'm just gonna go do the slow method, I don't care.
Blank don't care.
Since this level's probably gonna take me a long time anyway. Spyro, fella. Please 180. My intuition is telling me that this is faster because you have to blast the ice wall in the glide you do down there. Like, even though you start up here and then you go back down here. I feel like this barely saves some time. But I'm not actually... I don't have any proof of that. But I do like doing that, it's fun. Yeah, I just did that like so because... I don't want to waste time going for something I have no concept of actually working. You like my little talk I'm having with a friend here? I don't actually understand the mechanics of the fast kill. Like, sometimes you can kill him and sometimes you cannot, and as far as I'm concerned, there's no consistency in that. Okay, you just have to trigger him and on the same frame kill him. That is hilarious. Yeah, and all you have to do that is literally just land there on the edge and look away from him and then look back. Like, that doesn't even require any kind of elaborate setting up to do. And chances are you're gonna see that multiple times. If I fumble. Yeah, I don't like that. This is a strong candidate for the hardest individual level in 100 Egg. Okay, well, you can still go for this. That just wasn't a good way of going for that. Even if bird proxy isn't faster, I really like doing it. At least when there are no stakes. That was actually the theoretically the fastest variation of it because that was diagonal. Jeremy actually got that in a run that almost world recorded. Just gonna take this real slow. And now you get to see the fella do that shit again. Okay. I need to trigger him better. Thank you for dying, you fella. See, it's hilarious in the beginning, but eventually it's gonna get annoying. The task can actually charge up these stairs. It looks really cool. You don't have to hover there if you do a perfect wall glide in the beginning. That's a theoretical time save. Look, come on, that was perfect. I fumbled the hover. I mean, yeah, if this was like a race I was doing, I would just back it up with this. You're gonna need to do a little singular sproder there. And apparently I need to really get reacquainted with that because I have no muscle memory for it. I'm like not even getting started. Fudgicles. You know what, I'm gonna go for it. Honestly, that was even less likely to happen than that Sproder. If I start feeling cowardly, I'm just gonna save state here, because this is the final egg you need here. That is a little moronic. I mean, that was a good job of sprodering around the thing, but not on top of it. The TAS actually does many of these kinds of things off of many different pieces of the scenery. You know what, I don't care that I'm taking 10 billion years to do this. It seems like I'm... Sir, is that really union-proof behavior? Well, at least he's not gonna bother me anymore. Had that flop happened a little higher, that would have actually helped. This isn't the most amount of time I've spent on a stupid trick on stream. And this stream is all about spending time on stupid tricks, so... This room is actually a little bit laggy. Probably because there are so many entities here, I don't actually know that for sure. Okay, I'm getting tired of doing this, so I'm just gonna save state here. Screw it. I wanna move on. I think you get around this first seam, and then on the... I think on the angle is when you turn upward. Like so. Okay. I don't know why I was trying to make him... That doesn't save any time, but it's a little bit of repetition for the movement. And now... I should be at 49 eggs if I did this right. Let's go bowling. I am at 49 eggs. I don't actually have any repetitions on the Lost Fleet movement. Or not Evening Lake movement, I was looking at the level name Lost Fleet. Spike doesn't really change, you just kind of do him as fast as you can. And this is actually not easy mode Spike, because we already have so many eggs. A third one is required to initiate the second phase. Hold that for me, Philia. Warrior buddy. Oh, he dropped something already. I was like, why is he not holding anything? Really? Next to him? And I almost ran into my doom, and now I ran into my doom. Okay. My testicle instincts. That's what fires up when you see a guy being hit in the nuts. Your testicle instincts awaken. I forgot I was sparkless, so I have to do the snow hit. For some reason I thought it was gonna take 3 shots here. I could have actually gone for a 4th hit on him. If I was just fast enough, but I didn't even try. Now he's gonna take 4. Okay, well, screw you too. He's gonna take that, which is always nice. We are a little too ballsy to stop and actually shoot him now. See, if I had health, that would have been very advantageous to do. But turns out you have nothing to damage boost with if you are sparksless. Testicle instincts. That was a slow burn. It's like... Come on, shoot at me. I know you want to, you scoundrel, you. I don't know why I keep doing that. My brain is so wired for going fast that I cannot actually take the fact that I'm sparksless into account in my decision making whatsoever. He's gonna shoot me. He's gonna destroy that because apparently I don't have the foresight to make sure he doesn't shoot that. Now, if I didn't know any better, I would be under the impression that you were attempting to inflict harm upon me here, sir. Okay, well, you are kind of a penis munch. And I wholeheartedly mean that. That's a little too far away for me to sneak a 4th hit on him. Ah, see, if I'd gotten that. He wouldn't have gotten that. It's a little ballsy on my turnaround. Really? I'm just gonna do this with the full sparks. Because I'm getting sick of being sparksless here. Now, Bird, are you aware that you put that on the other side of the goddamn arena? Really? You're kind of a doo-doo head. See, now I can damage boost because I'm not entirely sparksless here. I did have to do him no hit in gemless. Which still isn't on my channel, and Noel probably hates that. Take that, you poop ass. Bird, whose side are you on? I'm gonna let him shoot at me before... Oh, he's not shooting at me before. A little too early. I thought I missed him. But turns out, I'm glad he's gone. That was just a genuine unintended hit. A lot of those other ones were calculated. That's at least what I tell to sleep better at night. Brain cell frying. Tastes good and it is good for you. So yeah, egg number 50 is Spike's Arena. And this is 1.0, so you're gonna hear Sunrise Spring here. They did have the Evening Lake song. They just misprogrammed it. Hold on, so... Okay, I'm gonna leave this save state here at number 3. And start out on number 4. Getting into Bentley is actually difficile. That was like a loud sneeze. I don't actually have a consistent method for getting into Bentley. I just kinda hope for the best. I hope that sneeze didn't destroy your eardrums and blow up your house. And kill your entire neighborhood. Hold on a second here. You go to Lost Fleet. I am doing the any percent route right now. I wanted a little bit of extra fodder for safety, but blank don't care. Okay, I'm gonna start out, and I'm gonna hear super bonus round here. Being sparkless here is actually kind of a blessing if you know what to do with it. A little too early and a little too shitty. Bless ya. Why thank you. Is that how much delay there is? No, my stream's got up. Thank you, Zoe. You know what? I'm gonna try to do this from the beginning. You don't actually have to kill him, but I like to do it for security. Do 4 notches, you point that at that. I'm not gonna go for it again, I'm just gonna do the safety strat. Would you look at that? I wonder if doing a successful chess proxy would actually save time here. It's fun. But I don't know if it actually saves any significant time. Fuck. Chickles. At least I didn't swear. supposed to leave here through zombie, but like I didn't quite do that. And I mean, like, if this was a marathon or a race, I could easily recover that by just going for it again. But I also did waste a life, so I probably need to find some backup life. Okay, I am at 1, so I'm not gonna game over just yet. But yeah, game overing when you don't want a game over would be a run killer if that was what I was concerned with. But this whole thing has been scuffed. Even with save state, this has been scuffed. So you're not here for optimal game, but like you're here to see dumbass ramble. No, come here, you scoundrel, you. You don't actually have to kill that crap, but I like doing it because I'm bloodthirsty and evil. Ooh, I almost could use that. Thank you. Thank you for the alley-oop. Oh, you would game over if you died while going for a zombie. So that's actually a bad thing. You don't actually want a game over, turns out. That's actually one of the undesirable outcomes. Would you look at that? Greg. Okay. I didn't know that could even happen. Whatever just occurred. Okay. Can the whirlwind catch me, please? Spyro, I don't want to leave the level. I thank you very much for the offer, Reno. He actually just didn't hover. I don't know what you would do if that happened in a real attempt. Or like if this was a race I was doing right now. Like at that point I would just start thinking about if there's a backup egg somewhere I can get. And there are no fast ones in Lost Fleet besides those two. Now come here, you scoundrel, you. I remember being so surprised finding out that the Sheila remix track for Lost Fleet wasn't a universal thing and that super bonus round was shared with it being planned for a moment. I really like. I personally prefer super bonus round out of the two, but obviously prototype supremacy. Sheila remix track has some popular around what been as his left and back sound very pirate-like, which I find better holding. Also explains the overturned ships. I think this place is meant to be kinda ghostly, so that's why I tend to lean towards both prototype and super bonus round better. Myself. Like, yeah, it's kinda jolly because the ghosts aren't real ghosts, they're just Rhinox wearing sheets, but still. Let's actually not kill that guy. Huh. I'm very inconsistent at that I don't know the functionality of it. And that's why I like to kill that guy. Jad. Prototype supremacy, yes, at least we can agree on. Are you yourself behind on the stream, or is the delay actually that bad? Where do you actually go here? So, Lost Elite, Evening Lake. So you go to the egg you get for the tutorial. So over here. Bridge, corner tower, and then the underwater egg. So go over here. Please. Please. Thank you. Oh, I'm like now to the left of the frame. Actually doesn't help for me to be too far away from my computer because these earbuds don't have that much reach. Spyro. Spyro. Spoopa floopa. See, that's what he responds to. Now can I do this one without any guardrails? Okay, you don't want to skip that one at all. Actually, I think you go left here, straight. Yeah, straight to the left from that point. Then you get that fella. Then you get the Kona egg. I'm just happy to have an Evening Lake save file now. Or save state. Okay, well this screen is gonna stay on the screen for a while. Okay, it's still... I still saw some lightning, but it's definitely settled down a whole lot. Please get the egg. See, this way you still remain out of bounds. That's the wrong level. Nah, I'm not gonna check the world record. Take me too long to look it up. Okay, but that's how close we are to the level portals. Theodore. So yeah, we get 4 out of 5 eggs and we get the whale. Is it after Charmed Ridge? I'm trying to think. I don't remember. My cheat sheet does have that. Let's go to Hunter's Cage for a bit. Okay, that's enough. Enough of Hunter's Cage. Am I inbounds? Just fully? Well, now I definitely am. Please be patient. I'm on 7 bathtubs of paint thinner. Let me move my little cheat sheet so I can actually see the chat fully. I would see if a new message popped up, but I wouldn't see its contents in that previous state. Now I will go. Hannah. Hannolomew. That's the full name. Turns out I don't actually know that track by heart. I really think you can skip this egg at some point. Okay. Where am I? Okay, here I am. I don't want to go back inbounds. I'm really struggling with this Bentley portal. I really wish we just had enough eggs to not have the Speedway portal there anymore. I got Stuart completely blind.
See, I don't even need to see.
Interestingly enough, that hit the trigger.
I'll go down. I will keep going down. More down.
Wait for this fella to hatch. And when he starts scratching his asshole, you skip. Once again, facing here. That was it. See, I had a hunch that I was doing the right thing, roughly. Now we're inside Bentley's out poop. I kind of want to see what would happen if I tried to go for Bartholomew proxy. It's not gonna work because that's pretty much TAS only. But I want to see what happens if I try. I think he stands roughly in front of the icicle. Unless you don't let him. So, like here. Okay, yeah, it is pretty much TAS only. If you stand there, he just throws that over there. Can you actually fling it from there? I don't think you can. Okay, so now I learned of a new soft lock. So yeah, zombie state actually disables teleport, so that's why we just saw Bartholomew kinda appear there instead of the screen transitioning.
Brian. Brian Griffey.
Fudge. Okay, well that's about the dumbest thing that can happen to me. Ever. In any context. Hop. Hop, thank you, Bentley.
Now come here, you.
Let's actually stand out of Bartholomew's way properly. If you use your head, you can maybe avoid mistakes like that, dumbass. No, I wasn't perfect. It's generally pretty lenient what it lets you get away with in terms of that gong. See, if you're not in zombie, you just get teleported to the correct position and you don't have to move. But in zombie, you actually have to find the spot yourself. You could almost make that, but not quite. I don't care, I'm doing this slow.
Stupid totem, goddamn scoundrel, you.
Another gong! I kinda wanted to go for snow proxy there, but I silenced that intrusive thought pretty fast. You basically just fly very high up, and you cannot really do anything with it. You just fly up and then you come back down. That's snow proxy. At least as far as we know, you cannot do anything with it. Oh, I almost nailed the 180 jump there. That's cool. Thanks, bro. Erik. Now you cannot actually pause in zombie, so you have to take the walk of shame. And now we're out of Bentley's outpoop. Outhouse. I always hated how they made Bartholomew suggest those seals are super nasty only to make them sound sympathetic when taking them out. Developing empathy as a child. Okay, I'm gonna keep jumping until I get this, and then I'll load state to try to learn the entire string of movements in one go. This is probably one of the tightest 180s in the entire game. Or entire route, I should specify. Like, the other ones have way more leniency than this one. In this one, you pretty much have no room for error, from my experience anyway. Unless there's some trick to it that I'm really not understanding. Okay, I'm just gonna load state, I don't care. Didn't even do the 180 there. Gonna jump a couple times, then I'll load state to get more reps in at the entire string of movements. Might actually be more beneficial to do a little kind of a dive jump. I also almost got it there. I think you just gotta commit to the rotation. Like, once you start rotating, just keep holding. And even if you overdo it, Spyro will walk in the level. Hold on, let me see if I can find some kind of a combination here that allows you to keep charging without bonking. Okay, it might not exist. I think you just gotta stop charging. Unless I'm just not thinking outside the box enough. Which is your fault for not holding me accountable. I kinda wanna see if you can flop up here. Okay, not reasonably. I've done this before on numerous occasions, I just don't do this that often. Hey, I got it. I'm actually gonna save state before I talk to the fairy so I can try my best at getting the best mammoth cycle. I don't actually... Yeah, I'm not that good at manipulating the mammoth. The turn in front of him is the hard part to me. No. I haven't done the cat hockey route to the end of the level in a hot minute. Wait a minute, this isn't any percent, so you do this anyway. You get Jasper. Please go into the mini game. So Frozen Altars up on ledge. You don't do Yeti boxing. Yet. That's actually optimal. It's better to do that. Wouldn't you consider it a good ending that Bartholomew never gets his ball? You just get 2 eggs and that's that. It's just a stupid egg! You scoundrel, you goddamn. It's the mammoth's fault, not mine. I don't know why I stick my tongue out when I'm focusing on something. It's suggestive. Yeah, that mammoth cycle is now absolute Garbolomew. Can you actually use this? Just for the sake of the argument, let's entertain this possibility. Not reasonably. In a pinch that would come in handy, but it's not preferable whatsoever. Okay. My fault for going for something I've never gone for before. not high enough. No harm done, right? I don't even know what that's related to anymore. I'm not getting high enough hooms. That's a... Careful what you wish for, they say. Why cannot I do a wall glide? There are no consequences because I can just load state whenever anything goes remotely against my way. So in that sense, I am following Bob-Bob's wish of cheating. I actually consider this the hardest death abuse in this category. It's made extra hard by the fact that I cannot even freaking set it up. Please freeze, you goddamn scoundrel, you scallywag. So this would be the backup. Which sucks. But I suppose it works. Yeah. So if this happens, I honestly don't know what's your best bet. I guess you go for that wall glide at that point. So you get up here. And then you go here. Hopefully don't do that. There actually is a little backup you can do. I've never actually done this one myself. So I don't necessarily even understand its functionality. But that's a proxy you can do. I might have melted it too much, I don't know. I've never done that, so I quite frankly don't know how. But you leave a little bit of ice and then you get squeeze proxied from there. I mean, I suppose it's good to learn the backups on top of backups on top of backups. How many lives do I even have here? Oh. I think this is then unusable in terms of its setup. Where did I lose a life too many? Maybe the route gets a 1-up I'm not aware of. I need to calculate the amount of death abuses you do in this route. Interessant. Would it be too anticlimactic to just switch to doing the any % route from the very beginning? I don't know. In terms of viewing experience, it might feel like I'm nuking the entire progress, but I do still have the Evening Lake save state, so I can come back to this whenever I want. It just might feel like a wet towel to the face. You know what? I can easily return if anyone gets angry. I'm still gonna do this with save states, but... well, there's still a backup here. If this was a race, I could still go for this guy. Now at this point I would be throwing the controller across the room. And now I would be crying. That's unfortunate. He's doing an awful little talking to Mayor Leo there. Not high enough to make it up there. I want to get the optimal version at least once. That's nice when you get bonked. The thunder is over. That was too late on every front. I might be able to get this to work. That was a little scuffed, but it did work. That's roughly the optimal version. Except you actually want to charge down there and not glide. And now, dumbass runs at waterfall. Yeah, I couldn't even begin to understand the boss buffer method of coming out of Sunnyvilla. I wanna go for the backup just to see if I can reasonably start using this. Because it's kind of precise. Jumping. Now you can ram your head against the waterfall from both sides. Isn't this revolutionary? This is still my favorite variation of the swim in there in Sunrise Spring. There are 3 different spots. Technically 4 if you count the lower half of the waterfall as its own. I do also want to do Sunrise Spring entirely in one go, using the 80% route. Come on, fella. Please face the seam. Walk forward. There we go. I was going for the turnaround because that's what my muscle memory is used to. But you actually go here. And then here. Well, since the new route doubles up on the waterfall swimmers, you'd actually go to Sheila, but this is kind of my variation on the old route. Yeah, I could kind of tell that was gonna be too scuffed to work. But it's a nice backup to my very weird strategy. Nope. I almost went back in bounds there. The reason why you entered the minigame rather than straight to the pool is because there's a death plane here. And if you get pulled in by the death plane and then stopped by the floor, you softlock because Spyro just gets stuck there because he's being pulled towards the death plane, but the floor is in the way. So then it just kind of repeatedly lands on the floor and does this little jitter animation. And now I get to do this parkour. It's actually pretty fun. It's annoying to fail it repeatedly, especially if the stakes are high. But it's fun to do successfully. Okay, let's just bonk on absolute air. Not a high enough jump. And kind of a lousy wall glide. Didn't land on the platform. Okay. I still got here. I got bonked. Spyro has now a concussion. A part of me wonders if there's anything that can be done to get a higher boost off of a whip proxy. Because that would be... It wouldn't be useful, but it would be cool. I was wondering I did that in Seashell Shore in particular. I guess it's just because the death plane might be one big little polygon. And it could be it's trying to reach your position and just place it on different height limits. Depending on if you're underwater or on top of the land. That might be the saddest way of failing that. But now you know that can happen, and that's the important part. Always make the best out of a bad situation. Even if you're tearing your hair out and screaming to the skies. There we go, that's what I like. I'm gonna save state because blank don't care. It's kind of like a practice run. I'm doing this with training wheels. I was really counting on getting this first try too. See, I'm so used to going to the minigame that I almost did. Rear! See, isn't it cool that the game dev spent such a long time putting these levels together so intricately? And we just pop in and out. Hold on, can I remember this buffer? Is it down left? Yeah, it's down left. Down left is the buffer where he starts running to the preferred direction. So I didn't remember it, I just found it by trial and error. And then we go here. And now dumbass is gonna run off the cliff 10,000 times in a row. Can I hit this first try? Put your predictions in the comments below. If you said yes, you were correct. I wanna leave, thank you. Now this is something that I actually struggle with this next part. Gotta try to time my save state in a way where I'm coming out of the portal. Here we go. So you buffer up left, so you run straight to the cave. Surprisingly close, but I didn't get enough height coming out of the cave. I should have maybe waited a little longer on that charge before I started gliding. I don't know if that actually would have helped in practice, but it was something I could have theoretically done. What you actually want is when even if you bonk on the ceiling, you can still get a little past it. And that's the optimal amount of height to get on top of that wall there. My dream is to keep practicing this until I'm extremely consistent at it and then challenge some unfortunate soul who doesn't know do a race in this game. You know what, I'm actually gonna start going for the backup. Like what I would do if this was a race and I failed that. Okay, so... Oh no, I failed that. Whatever will I do? I wasn't forward enough. I mean, at that point, I might as well load state. I would just run up back the waterfall if that was a race, and I was repeatedly failing that. That might be just enough. Roughly there. Nope. Okay. I was either a tad too low, or I just missed it on the horizontal axis. Thanks again, Riro. Hiya, Sheila. That was actually pretty fast up that mountain. I really thought she would kick. Thank you. Okay, aside from the ending, a pretty good Sheila. Not that I'm going for time, but still a pretty good Sheila. Thanks for the help! None. That is a Nestle product. I said this in the Gemless video, but Nestle, of course, is a company famous for killing children in third world nations. Let's head on over to the balloon. Let's go bowling. I don't actually care about making a save state for any percent midday garden. Midday garden is stupid. No, but it's just so easy to get there that I don't really need one. When I heard the sorceress was a white woman in lizard skin, I already knew that she would be beyond evil. Ow. In this category, life count actually doesn't really matter as long as you're not in game over range when you hit Lost Fleet. Oh. Okay, so I un-cheesed him. That might be the smartest thing I've done all evening. I was expecting the bonk. But he's very cooperative, he is, so... He gets a little pat on the head. Good boy. There. A little bonk of goodwill. Ow, my bottom. It wasn't supposed to get fried. Now, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure that frying your bottom is actually bad. That's right, into the fiery bits of hell with you. Grey zone. You can actually get kinda bullied by the sheep there, if it happens to spawn in your way. Okay, some shenanigans in the art channel. On not rip ass farters Discord server. Okay, shithead. See, Spyro isn't concerned about the eggs. All he wants is revenge on the sorceress, and that's why he's taking the straightest possible route to her. I have the shit. I like to do a little turn here. The suspect is armed with a flower pot. I repeat, the suspect is armed with a flower pot. I'm not gonna make it. Siegfried? Sigmund Freud. Quiet you. Then you get the weight. I don't think you actually have to kill her, but I want to. Because that's in my nature. So I'm gonna wait a little bit for the hummingbird here, because last time I kinda fumbled. Okay, I definitely want fodder now. Oh, turns out this fodder is actually ungettable.
Mission accomplished, you stupid shithead.
And now we leave.
Stupid level anyway.
Okay, I wouldn't consider myself particularly bad at Sergeant Boyd. Okay. 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 I always heard that sound as Herbie when I was younger. Oh, that... Yeah, I can see that. That's actually the intended way of entering this level. There's some tar residue on my lips. Okay. See, if you don't play that stupidly, you can actually make use of that jump. A jump like that, not necessarily that specific jump. That's what I like to see. I think I'm gonna go over the arch. Oh, I'm gonna get the bug again.
Thelonious.
I missed the pause button. I wanna do Bamboo Terrace in one go. Even though it contains multiple tricks that you have to do in a sequence. It might take me 10 billion years, but... Then again, that is the current state of entertainment. Dumbass taking 10 billion years to do one thing. That's actually the intended route to Bamboo Terrace. It's a little known fact around the Spyro circles, but like that's actually what the game testers did do. I remember it like yesterday when I was last in this level. I almost tried to mimic that sound, but my voice just flat out doesn't go that high. Okay, well, I got an attempt at this pretty fast here, so... I don't know if that worked. It didn't. I fumbled the pause. Okay. Is this what this stream is becoming now? I didn't do the... That was very close on the last one there, but... I fumbled the final glide. I usually mash. And I don't know if that's actually a good idea, but it tends to work for me a lot of the time. No, you do not. That's actually why you don't flame them. This is actually my strat. Like, I don't see anyone else doing this. Then again, I don't watch that many individual speedrunners, so I don't have sufficient data. But I think a lot of people tend to either go for squeeze proxy or bug proxy here. And it might be because this is slightly slower than bug proxy or something, but I definitely prefer this for its consistency. It's way more consistent than bug proxy, which has a huge RNG factor to it. I one frame glided too early there. The negative side is that you cannot blame the game when you fail, but when you flame that proxy. You can blame the game for failing bug. You can be like, well, the RNG. But here you have to take full responsibility for your failure as a player and a human being. I've also kind of speculated if you could somehow trigger some kind of an animation proxy off of these little moose. But so far I haven't found anything akin to that. Because they do gallop up and down, so that definitely seems like an animation you could. The two rocket Rhinox on the emergency bridge are great for taking out the XP IMO. Anytime I have flamed one of them, it almost works 99% of the time. Yeah, I think you were the one who actually made Noel play that game. I did actually utilize that, I believe yesterday, because I forgot to take the egg from inside the bridge. So that I was like screw chasing this fucker. I can already tell that fumbled because he jumped a little bit. I don't know what even happened there to make it not work. Almost. But yeah, that's how I tend to do it even in 117s now, is to just get the swim in there and get the cheese the egg from inside the bridge. That might take the fun out of the game for some, but... And that's precisely why I'm doing it, to take the fun out of it. You think you're here to have fun, or watch me have fun? No, I'm gonna be a miserable little dick the entire time. And then lash out at chat. Oh, it's 10 PM right now, so I cannot make too much noise anymore. I might stick around for another hour, depending on if the sky falls on me. Okay, that's not necessarily what you want to happen. Neither is that. I honestly cannot actually say why people don't go for this, because it feels so obvious. Like, either people genuinely miss this proxy, or there's something I don't know about it, like maybe it's like 5 billion seconds slower, or maybe it just doesn't work on PS TV or something like that. Like, it could also be just something that simple, that it works on DuckStation but not on PS TV. You could, if you get that wall glide with that height, you can still make it on top of the house, but it definitely adds a layer of difficulty to it. But it is a good recovery. I wasn't feeling that gutsy, so I went to the right there. Now, can I get this? That was too early. That felt right, but it wasn't apparently. Didn't get the glide. I'm kind of tempted to make a save state before, so I can get some reps in that. If I fail it one more time, I'll do that. That was a little... Someone else brought it up. No, I think her butter, Spyro. I think her butter, Spyro 3 randomizer stream, but involved. Or maybe you meant... I don't know. Randomizer stream would involve standing near the one file. Oh, someone else brought it up to Noel. Okay. I must have misremembered, because I think whoever brought it up did it with the donation. And I kinda associate you as the Noel donation guy. Then jumping out of the way when Rhino... Yeah. Thus taking out the little fucker. Nope. Oh, that one I could even tell was gonna work. Okay, what's going on with me and Sprouters? I'm just gonna practice the inputs. It's square and double X rapidly back and forth, so square XX, square XX, square XX. That's what you're supposed to do, but sometimes I just mess up the rhythm and start mashing all over the place. I was facing the wall too much. I'm making very rudimentary mistakes now. There we go. I think I'll just bite the bullet and make the secondary save state right now. So yeah, here. Okay, yeah, I don't remember the username of the person, but now I have a faint glimpse of the person's profile picture who brought it up. Like a very blurry image in my head. Okay, yeah, that started taking a while, so I kinda grew bored of doing that. Oh, that worked. You know what? I'm taking it. A lot of this is just what I did before, but more boring. Because I only get the end of the level like and nothing else. Ooh, first try. What do you know? I don't know if this is actually faster to do the rockets in this, or it probably isn't because the wait time is the same regardless. Did I not flame that properly? Or did talking to that guy unflame it? Or something like that? Peanut. Okay. The hard part of that movement is the proxy, which I got on the first try, so I'm happy. Now let's see how fast I can get Boyd. I wish I could remember the timestamp when I started doing. I can check. Yeah, roughly half an hour ago I got started on this, and I'm already here, so I'm definitely getting way better at this. Yes, I'm using save states, but still, like the last time I did this, it took me half an hour just to make it out of Sunrise Spring. And now I'm already almost done with Midday Gardens in the same amount of time. So the consistency trading is definitely panning. But I did make it very clear to Jaxby that it's definitely still gonna take me months for me to become like an actual menace to society in this game. What I will say is that bird proxy is really cool. It looks very cool. It's a swaggy trick. Okay. I'm kind of hesitating there, and that's kind of making me fumble it more. And now that I didn't hesitate, the bird's not coming, because I didn't look at him enough. Yeah, that I could kind of tell wasn't gonna work. I was kind of far away from the ice block, so I definitely did a gutsy variation of that. Because you want to make sure that you turn enough, but at the same time, if you turn too much, you start walking away from the thing. And that's also not a desired outcome. My movement isn't actually as gutsy as Jeremy Thompson's. He actually charges up that thing and stops just on the correct spot. Whereas I do a little safety strat. Like he looks at the bird, then he charges up this thing and stops just at the right time. Kind of flops to the correct spot. And like that's like see, I overshot it when I tried. So that's why I walk up here. Pretty good movement all in all, but obviously too slow. There we go. Yeah. I killed my dog for the purposes of gambling. Oh, by the way, is that a felony? And that's me done with Midday Garden. Let's go bowling. Very far away from nutritious. And now you get to see easy mode Spike. This is the training wheel version. I'll save state after the Xbox goes away. It guarantees that RNG is the same, which is kind of cheaty, I suppose. But then again, using save states in the first place is cheaty. Hey! I secured the third hit. Oh, that barely hit him. Okay, that... like, the RNG factors there, just the stars aligned in my favor perfectly there. Spike is actually a pretty fun fight. Obviously, as a youngin', I really struggle against him, but... once you get to know him a little bit, he's not actually that bad a person. Deep down, he loves me. Okay. Hey, I got on the ladder. It's probably not gonna help because odds are I'm gonna hit the speedway portal. Okay, I tried a little back up there, but I didn't hit either of the portals. Okay, I'm getting better at that swim to that ladder. I tried to recover that with the hover. That's gonna be Speedway. There might be some kind of a trick I'm not understanding. But right now my go-to strat is to just keep practicing that until I get way better at it. For what it's worth, I've gotten way better at identifying when I'm entering the speedway. Because the way the screen jitters is different depending on which level you go to. Oh, that felt so right too. But I guess I don't have proper muscle memory for that. I might need to start dedicating some specific practice hours just for this alone. Because I quite frankly do not understand how this works. I can generally tell, like, if I enter the level that early. If it feels like Spyro's just getting yanked into the level, it's a speedway and not Bentley. Bentley Speedway. That really felt right, but again, it wasn't. Maybe it's better for the entertainment value for me to put a save state up here so I don't have to do that run every time, since I'm already seemingly very consistent at this particular angle for that is definitely guaranteeing I flop, so let's change it. A visual cue is very poor with this save state. Yeah, that was too low. I've heard people talk about like you need to be high enough to hit the Bentley portal. But even that kind of feels arbitrary to me, because I've entered the... Like, yes, it's obvious that I'm doing something wrong, but I just have no idea what specifically. My money is that I'm turning around either too early or too late. Or turning to the right. I'm gonna try to vary that timing, actually. So that was later than I normally do. I need to not turn around so much. Oh, even if I let myself really enter that, it still really pays to not turn around too much. Okay, and if you wait too long, you just miss both portals. I've also seen some people kinda turn to the right and then back to the left. Kinda like doing this. Maybe I can find some kind of a unique strategy to myself that works every time. Even if it's slower or something, I just really want to get to Bentley's outpost. Man, that's all I want. My only life goal is to get inside Bentley's outpost. What if I just look at the video on it? I mean, I'm already taking my sweet ass time anyway, so... I have a YouTube notification. Okay, just an upload. Gonna silence this tab so I'm not blaring somebody else's content on my little stream. So let's really try to study this particular route. Yeah, charges down where I charge down. Goes left where I go left. So can I figure out the precise frame he turns to the right there? I don't know, that looks like the exact same thing I was doing, so I don't know what's different. I do have a theory. Let's go a little bit more to the left in the beginning and then turn to the right and see if that fixes anything. So let's go at the blue gem, then at that green gem. Let's try to use those as landmarks and see if that does anything. Nope, still Speedway. It wasn't... I don't think it was Skinner box. What was the psychological exam where they put people in a little box and a light kept like occasionally turned on and then off, and the people could swear that there was some kind of a pattern to it, even though it was entirely random when the light lit up? But the people still insisted that no, it's whenever I clap 3 times and then wait a second, that's when the light turns on. Basically just how people try to see patterns in chaos. That's basically what's happening here. I'm like, okay, so maybe if I stand on my head when I buffer the right input, maybe that's magically gonna make me enter Bentley's outpost. Okay, well, a different outcome is still the fact that I don't hit either portal. Like, at least I'm doing something that changes. I don't even know where it is. So it would really help if I could somehow, like, even temporarily get a visual representation of the portals here. Like, obviously it would be cheating to use it in an actual run, but just, like, for the sake of practice. To get them visible. I know that they're basically layered on top of each other and it's very precise to hit the correct one. But it really doesn't feel like anything I do is making a difference. Like, you would think that it would be just as likely to hit both of them, but it very clearly is way easier to get into the Speedway than Bentley. Somehow that worked. I mean, I guess at this point I'm too tired to keep trying that, so I'm gonna dedicate some actual time to learning that eventually. Just eventually is not now. Okay, there's a jump cooldown for Bentley. I didn't know that for a fact, but now there's no doubt. See, now I actually screen transition. Oh, I was a little too eager. See, I wanted to line up here. Please walk forward. Unfortunate. Luckily I wasn't in zombie, so I didn't have to bear the humiliation of dying there. All sorts of other humiliations, though. And now we wait for Mr. Olomew. Too early. Too stupid. Thank you. See, doing it from that spot is actually more dangerous because the timing is more precise and it's easier to fall off and die to death. Die to death until your life is no more.
I could tell it wasn't on its place. You don't sneak anything past me.
Okay, so the 180, one of the components is taking the cooldown into account. Thanks, bro. Quiet you. See, now we get to do the fun stuff. And since I have the world record video open, I might as well check how to do that lost, or not Lost Fleet, the Frozen Altars mammoth setup. So entering the level, YouTube video buffering. Yeah, mash through the dialogue, run to the left. Okay, so a sharp left to a sharp right. That's the secret. So you basically wiggle to the left and right. You didn't see my hand there, but I did do a motion there. I gotta have people to vouch for me. I swear I did a motion there. Hey, that's it. Glad to finally learn that. Okay, that can still happen, but it's not the end of the world. Meanwhile, Russia is planning to nuke the US based on my performance there, and it is the end of the world.
Thanks for helping.
Thanks for helping me. Paint my coop. Okay, glad to have finally, for once and for all, learned the faster way to do that. So here, you get back on the ladder. I said, back on the ladder. You know what, that counts. It may have been the scenic route, but I got on the ladder. You cannot take that away from me. I'm gonna go for the corner cutting version of Firefly here, because I have the save state, so I might as well. Oh, there was no text box here in the very beginning, I forgot. Okay, yeah, buffer both charge and left. Now we're kinda getting into new territory, because I never made it to Fireworks Factory on my last one. You do have to see a rerun of Lost Fleet, however. Oh, here we go. Was waiting for this dumbass to make it out of familiar territory. I love the... I cannot imitate the sound, but I do know what you're talking about. Of the fireball gunners. See, my vocal cords are those of a bass. I can go low, but getting high is kind of hard. Well, no, I actually do have a high vocal range. It's just that my throat is kind of fried from other stuff, which makes it kind of hard to hit those high notes. The go-to strat is to actually land on the thing on the left there. And then jump off the ninja box onto the bridge, whereas I'm trying to go directly to the bridge. That was the closest one so far. I'm like really good at this game. That was a proxy where I got slammed onto the ground instead of up. Okay, see, if I had went for the ninja box, I would have made that. But since I was going for the bridge, it wasn't enough. And that's probably why people don't go for the bridge in actual speedruns. So hypothetically, if I were to get a world record where I did, that would kind of change the meta, and people would kill me for it. Well, no they wouldn't, because there's the pause buffer version of the task strat now. I don't even know what that is, but it's like This is basically the string of movements. I wasn't actually going for it there. I was just kind of demonstrating what it would look like. And then you would get a bounce off of this guy's stomach here. Like from there, and then you would get up. Not the explosion, the actual stomach. But I presume it's frame perfect, and that's why you need the pause buffer set up. The Taz obviously just YOLOs it. I think both variants look cool, even the pause buffer version. Hey, there we go. Wanna take a little detour and go to the life cave? It might take a while to get up there, but... You know what? Let's take the scenic route. I'm going to the life cave. This proxy is effectively random to a human. Okay, I'm gonna save state just in case. That was a stupid way of going for that. There we go. Here we are. The life cave. Hold on, I dropped my wallet in there. Can I get back? Can you open this door for me? Okay, let's leave the level now. I've been to the life cave. There's another fun trick that I just learned about by watching Jeremy Thompson's stream. You can actually get to the rocket early, before it launches, using that same proxy. I also very much so like that I'm getting more consistent at the Lost Fleet alley-oop. It's not quite a proxy, but it is a little helping hand you get from the Ghost Rhinox. So now that I'm fully sparked up, I actually take a little bit of damage from this guy. So I can death abuse faster. That was almost enough height. Ooh, that was very close to not making it. I'm just gonna save state here, because I really wanna do a couple reps on the cannon jump. What if I don't charge when I jump on top of that? I think it's like a precise point where you can barely jump if you buffer the jump button. But I don't know what the consistent setup for it is. I just occasionally get it and I occasionally don't. I'm gonna do one more successful one at it. Maybe it's like buffering left on the exact correct frame. Jump height probably also affects it. Okay, but if I do fail it in an actual run, it's better to just give up on it immediately. There's a really cool task-only proxy in this level. It's where you enter it in a zombie. And then you go underneath the ship in the beginning of the level and walk on top of the acid. And you get a little squeeze proxy that just pushes you straight to the wall. It's not human viable, but it's really cool when the task does it. Okay, I think I actually should aim for the yellow part of the cannon and not the end of the white. Because I seem to be getting more luck when I land there. You get to hear the little vocal sample there repeatedly now, because I just keep loading state. I wonder if there's some kind of an optimal cannon height that really helps. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the level. I'm gonna save state here so I don't have to keep spending hours to go for a zombie. I don't know why I'm so bad at that today. Bounce. Bounce. I've even practiced the actual timing. Like, in terms of its rhythm. Maybe it's tighter than I think, and that's why I'm messing it up. Blaming the game effectively. And why wouldn't I? The game is misbehaving, and I'm not gonna take responsibility. Okay, I really should take some effort to learn the fastest track. The ridge. But just kinda doing whatever. I guess I wasn't high enough. Or something, I don't know. Luckily I have the save state, so... Luckily the stakes are very low, and there's actually nothing that needs to be done on my part. That's the safety strat. I'm almost out of tar. I want to do ladder skip. It wouldn't help in an actual run setting, but it's fun. It's fun to do when you have training wheels. Hold on. Holy shit, that might actually be optimal. If you just do that more properly. I've always theorized about that, but I never knew if that was possible. Well, I'm glad I have that on tape now. I can show that in a job interview. So I'm actually really good at Spyro. It might not actually be faster because you gotta go so far away from the final position. So could be that it like... Could be that the run to the ending of the level then ultimately... Or alternatively the time save that gives it so marginal that it's not worth it to go for that. Because you need the absolute highest variation of the jump there to reliably get that. So it's like only if you've exhausted all other time saves you might wanna... Ooh, red rockets. I'm not very good at catching them. No, there are some fuckers on the field. Oh, that's nice. Please hit the fucker. Okay. I'm just gonna die here anyway. It's gonna give me the red one anyway. Top. Now there's a scream for the Asians. Gosh, are the cat wizard so funny. I might have read that. But yeah, I like that death sound effect too. Oh, come on, that felt like it hit. Fuck. Jiggles. How did that not hit? Bentley, why do you hate me so much? These are... This might be... You get first red, so it's good, but this might be one of the worst Scorch seeds you can get in an actual speedrun. Which luckily this isn't, but... Like, I would be very pissed if I was on World... Or, not World, but PB pace. And this was what I was witnessing. I mean, I guess I'm grabbing a green. Ooh, that's what I like to see. Okay, that works. So I'm not very good at Sorceress in terms of doing it fast. But at least I'm getting a couple reps at it. Maybe I should make myself a Sorceress save file just so I can easily come back to practicing that fight. One rule of thumb is that you wanna be fully sparks up when you enter it. Okay. Gonna save state here so I don't have to run back. I wasn't even holding the camera button. I mean, you could use that. But I wanna do the common setup. My angle might be bad for the common setup right now. This one you can use, but I don't know that route here. I think you get up there. I'm not getting enough height with a lot of these ones. I don't know if it's because my angle is bad. Okay, that was enough height. I mean, I can easily come back to Midnight Mountain even in a 117 to practice Sorceress skip, so I'm just gonna save state in the fight. And now the cannon, final boss music. So I think this is gonna be the one on the right there. I haven't memorized these cannon patterns. No, it's that one. I don't even remember which one was which in terms of the letters. Okay, I'm gonna restart. Because I wanna... Okay, I think it's gonna give me the same cannon pattern every time now. Because I save stated so late. So it's not really adequate practice of identifying the cannon patterns. No, I think that's different than last time. So I think this one is to the left here and then a couple notches. I guess I started too late. Okay, I'm very inconsistent at getting 3 shots from the get-go, it seems. You generally don't want to take damage because that makes Agent 9 shoot cheap. Which kinda messes up the cycles. Honestly, this Sunrise Spring song here might be the funniest pug. Well, not the funniest bug, but one of the funniest programming errors in AAA game history. Okay. I'm guessing the people who know this fight like the back of their hand can easily deal with that fireball. I'm gonna save state in between. I'll have this save file. Or I can make a save state after the fight. Outside the door. Or I guess it would be inside the door. No, that's where she lands. Is that gonna be consistent every time? No, this time she ran to the left, so... The third one didn't damage her. Please stand on the cannon. So I think her route is gonna be always the same, depending on where she turns in the beginning. Okay, she really insists on using fireballs now. So let's see, she runs there, and she turns to the left. She runs there. Okay, it seems like if you can identify which particular seed she's gonna do, you can tell where she's gonna go. Okay. So that's to the edge of the middle circle. But I don't know how many notches up exactly. I'm having some trouble trapping her in a circle. Okay, that was almost perfect, but a little too late. I mean, you can do a decent enough job at just predicting where she's gonna go based on visual data. That third one's not gonna hit her. I'm definitely not learning anything here, I just want to get to the tank phase now. So I can practice the timing on the final shot. I have a question about your mysterious red orb that only appears in your thumbnail. We're gonna need to eliminate an unfortunate soul who's asking some concerning questions. Must have been the wind. So if I shoot in that particular spot, I seem to be able to, in some universes, I seem to be able to secure a second. The orb. Okay, so that can work if I just do that right. So go to the left, aim upward. This isn't gonna help for future reference, but... Okay. Agent 9, why are you a piece of shit? I mean, obviously there's probably some layer of predictability to that I'm just not understanding, so... Let's just say I'm blaming the game for comedic effect. God damn it. Just when I closed that. That was General N. Void. Okay. My hands have been soaked in bleach. I'm trying to get rid of the final traces of pigment. Okay. God damn it, you penis ass munch penis. So you shoot her, and you wait for Agent 9's cue. That wasn't good enough. Oh, I already shot her in this timeline. The pigmen are an issue. What, police officers? Is that why you're trying to bleach your skin? I'm watching the Minecraft movie tomorrow.
I am gay.
I think it's gonna give me a UFO now. That was later identified as a flying saucer. I'm just gonna see if I can learn a consistent method for this right here and now. Okay. That almost kinda worked. Okay. That kinda works, actually. So yeah, I'm not very good at the one where you juke her and keep backing away. So then you aim for her here. I said for her, not the space right next to her. Yeah, she's very hard to predict, she is. And you have to do this final phase with your 10 bullets that you have if you want to do it fast. The UFO can work in an emergency, but you generally prefer without it. Okay, turns out her hitbox is very literal. It's very precise, it needs to be on the exact pixel. I was kinda choking her for a second there. Okay, well if this were an actual run, I would run to the UFO that disappeared. It didn't disappear. Let's see how fast I can finish her off with the UFO. Not fast at all, it turns out. Okay, let's go back to the tank. Undo my shame. Okay, I didn't read her accurately there. I ran out of bullets. 3 people are witnessing me be a dumbass. So that's less than in school. Ooh, surprisingly enough, that hit. Okay, I think that's enough of Sorceress for one day. For one lifetime. Man loves games so much he wants to figure out how to beat it while playing it as little of it as possible. "20 eggs. That was so much fun. Let's do it again. Actually, let's go back to my sorceress. Oh. Let's not go back to my sorceress. Turns out I didn't figure out I should save after. Watch, I'm gonna mash through Bianca very optimally. like my cursor? You want more cursor? Unfortunate. More fortunate. Thank you for rescuing my dog. Curse her? I hardly know her. Oh, it's kind of small. Oh, my OBS actually... I need to click into the game for my cursor to appear. Okay, go away, you. I'm gonna see if I can do this without training wheels just once. Well, I'm not turning sufficiently. Fudge. I wanna do this recovery, that's very hard. I'm seemingly very bad at turning by just a degree. Like the options seem to be minus infinite and infinite degrees. Okay, that really felt like it would have been dead on. But my feelings don't matter in the realm of Spyro. Let's really make sure I'm standing dead in the center of the leaf. Honest to God, I couldn't even explain to you how that was wrong. Like, that's how right that felt. Maybe the sky was too blue. That I was too forward. That I could tell. Hey, I did the recovery at least once. This variant can work, but it's actually ballsier to do that than what I'm more used to doing. It's just that I eventually get sick of turning back and forth. I was too far forward. Is this swim in air? Oh, this is where I am. I actually didn't mean to do that, but screw it, Sunny Villa again. It is a swim in air. Look at you knowing your Spyro vocabulary. Brain cell frying. That could actually be used if you turned back there. Good to know, I'm learning. I'm learning! This can almost barely be used, but it's not quite high enough. This cannot be used for anything whatsoever. This can be used for anything whatsoever. Standers. They like to sand. It's okay, Mayor Leo. You are forgiven. Okay, I'm gonna save state coming out of Sunnyville now. Here we go. This feels like a good position. Now to just get the angle right. Small bit forward, and apparently that was still wrong. I'm not gonna load state for as long as I keep making that jump. Second I fail that jump up, I load state. That was kind of a random setup anyway, like I was just kind of flinging shit at a wall and seeing if it stuck. I'm just gonna keep taking my time adjusting back and forth. I'm gonna be very hesitant to YOLO it now. I must have been too far back still. A little bit more to the right. Perfect angle. Too far forward. I don't know, sometimes I just lose all semblance of consistency on this and I have no way to combat it. Like, life just decides that I don't get to be good at that anymore. Now Germany, you don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. That was a little too far to the left. Me talking about my college years. There we go. That's what I like. You know what? I can just blame tiredness. I would be playing better if I was well rested. I'd be like really good. Okay. A horizontal proxy, you say? That was... I think I mistimed the one frame glide there. Like everything else worked about that setup, but it was the very final step that fumbled, and I killed that fucker, so... If this were a attempt, I would have to just run to the end, like a good boy. Take the regular route. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. I'm probably just pressing... Like, I'm mistiming the button press, but I don't know what I can tell my brain to not do that. Zoe, no one cares. No one wants to talk to you at this time. At least I didn't kill him. A nice little speed boost. Okay, that was kind of a bounce, but it wasn't high enough. That wasn't even a bounce. Is the extra humiliation of landing in the pole seriously a necessary part of that equation? Yeah, I figured that wasn't gonna make it. That didn't look like it would make it. We go up, we jump, we bonk, and we fail. At least I've gotten this during the course of this stream. That's the important part. That I have ground to stand on when I claim that I'm good. Because the perception of other people is important. I might have hit a wrong polygon there, because that definitely felt like it was high enough. Like, if it wasn't high enough, it was just barely too low. No, okay. It's definitely up higher than you think it is, it seems. which is why this isn't the optimal strat here. But it's the one I like, and I'm probably gonna stick to for a while here. Like, I quite frankly just dislike doing the damage boost. Maybe I would like it more if I became consistent at it. But for the time being, I'm just gonna stick with this set of strats. Nope. There we go. That's what you like to see here. I'm just gonna leave the level. I think that's enough reps of that. So then we take a left here. Then we do that. My plan worked! DZ. Kinda disappointing that Dizzy wasn't actually Dizzy. I sure hope whoever came up with that got completely blackballed from the gaming industry. And then killed, taken behind a shed. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna save state just now, unless I repeatedly keep failing Boar. Then I will. I always wondered what type of lunchbox Rhinox would have. Like, how would they have designed? I'm just envisioning a red toolbox. Okay, that was very beautiful movement there. Like, that's what I'm seeing in my head. The red metal crate, or not crate, but I guess kind of like a chest. Maybe it's one of these baskets. I mean, they are just lying around, so you might as well take one. I mean, Spyro's gonna destroy them anyway, so might as well put them to use. Are they actually chests? I guess they're kinda like jars, actually. I don't know, they're kinda weird. Reared. I've heard people call them chests, but they're usually the Spyro 1 people who call them chests, because in that game they are chests without the shadow of a doubt. The containers with gems in them. Okay. I fumbled the wall glide. But I'm definitely getting more and more consistent at this. At least this part. I've somehow managed to find some ways to fumble the second half of that movement. Which is the easy part. Maybe it's because I'm so not used to doing. Why do I even hover? I always felt they were baskets. That's what I've been calling them. And for the longest time I called these bottles. Because that's what they really look like. But I guess they could be vases. By the skin of my teeth. So turns out I actually had a good reason to hover there. See, I don't usually get angry at failing stuff I know to be hard. I'm more likely to get mad at failing stuff I think is easy. But what I usually get really frustrated about is nailing the stuff that I think is hard. And then at the last second finding an excuse to fail the stuff that's easy right after. Like this entry to the level is the easy part here. The wall glide on top of that thing is actually the hard one. I'm just gonna save state here, I don't care. I'm a grown man. I do what I want. Let's do one more for good measure. What if it was a fluke? What if I can never reproduce that result? I wanna go over the top even though it's actually... Okay, turns out I can't. Rear! I might have made that exact joke the last time I was here. I don't think I wanna do Buzz anymore. So I might end the stream after I get to Buzz. No, it's actually left that you wanna buffer here. There. That's when he turns. Okay, my lunch break is over. Okay, have a fun shift. Make sure to not eat the customers. Goodbye. Bye-bye, Mr. Bote. My Bote. My Bota. Okay. Rigged. The game is rigged against me. This definitely, because I don't understand the exact function of this. It feels luck-based. It probably isn't. But because I'm kinda just... really just throwing shit at a wall here. But I like doing this sequence of movements. I cannot see the name Curtis anymore without immediately thinking of Curtis Armstrong. I definitely have my set of names that definitely get associated. Especially if it's the name of a bad person. Like Richard makes me think of Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez. I'm starting to shift in my seat. Maybe I'm getting uncomfortable sitting. You do not want the whirlwind there. I might do Sheila for good measure at the end, even though that one doesn't require that much practice on my part. Like, yeah, I could optimize it a little further. But like, that's definitely not the weak link in my ability. It's the entry to Sheila that I'm very bad at. And I would wish to get better at. From what I heard, Curtis Armstrong is great, man. He was Booger in the Revenge of the Nerd series and led him to voicing Snot Lunstein on American Dad. He was also the voice of Dan in Dan vs. I'm not really that familiar with him. Not really an actor I have run into knowingly. Especially with my car at 7 p.m. on the 8th of June. This trick is definitely fun to do. And that's why I wanna get better at it. I mean, that's definitely why I keep playing this so much, doing this route, because I genuinely just find it fun. Yes, even the Bentley stuff, because there's still that feeling that I'm getting more consistent at it. And that's kind of the thing, like, yeah, I want to get better at the game, and that's kind of the function of why I'm doing this, but at the same time, if I wasn't having any fun, there would be no point for me to waste this much time. Which is kind of a nice life lesson. See, if you enjoy the journey, you're more likely to reach the destination. If you kill a dog, chances are people aren't gonna take too kindly to that. See, that's two ancient wisdoms you get in one stream. I'm kinda sucking at buffering that diagonal now. I might just be getting really tired. Ooh, that's not what I like. See, slipping off it kinda just pushes me head first into the unknown. It's definitely the charge off I'm more accustomed to in terms of muscle memory. Hey, I did it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go and screen record that clip of me using the crossbow Rhinoc at the bottom of the ladder to get to the end of the level. Because I definitely want to analyze if there's potential to make that the faster strat, even if it is less consistent. Because that would be very fun to get good at. I don't know if the direction you go here matters in terms of which side you do first. Once again, a pretty good Sheila. None. That's another neat sunrise spring. And yeah, I definitely don't feel like doing Buzz. My opinion hasn't changed.
Let's head on over to the balloon.
It's 11:30 p.m, so I'm gonna call this stream here. I'll see what I do for tomorrow. I'm definitely planning on streaming tomorrow. And if I can't pull myself to do anything else, I'll just do this again. And I think I'll focus on any percent full time. But that's not right now's trouble. So I bid you farewell, my dear viewers. Well, right now I'm pretty sure Evan is the only one here, but to anyone viewing this in post,
Look at this nerd.
But yeah, thank you Evan for stopping by. Thank you Mr. Boat for doing a little cameo. And also Bob for being here in the beginning. And yeah, with all of that being said, I say good night, wherever you are.